Wellness and Welcomes. It's your friendly neighborhood counselor, Dr. Will, and I am so excited to be talking to you here on the Heal Always podcast. Whew, this is going to be a great one. This is a continuation, and on the last episode, we talked about secondary traumas, secondary healing, and all that's in between. And to do this and to understand all this is to get the realization of reset modality. So in the reset modality, it's so important that we are looking at secondary healing. But to do that, we have to understand what our motives and our purpose is. And so, as you remember in the earlier episodes, I talked about how the world is going through an emotional homeostasis, right? And in the second layer, we have relationships. And then in the middle, level 3 is purpose and self. And so we're going to go now into the second part, which is motives and purpose. And so this all connects in so many ways, y'all. And I'm so excited that we can do this and talk about this openly. But before we get started, let me get my tea real quick. Gotta be consistent now. Gotta be consistent. And also, we're gonna breathe too. So let's do some breathing real quick. So follow my hand. In with your nose. Out with your nose. In. Good. In. We're gonna hold it this time. One more. Good. Good job. Good job. So we're going to really get into this. And this is like the bread and butter of reset. So what I teach clinicians is to understand that in mental health, you have, symptomology, right? We have mental illness. It's like the umbrella, right? And then you have symptoms, behaviors, traits, right? And in those symptoms, behaviors, and traits, those get broken down. And what surrounds all that are emotions. So our emotions are subjected to these experiences, these symptoms, these behaviors, these traits, and our emotions are reactive or responsive to these different components. And so, like, for instance, let's say anxiety, right? Anxiety. It's, anxiety isn't just a feeling. It's a collection of emotions, behaviors, right? Reactions. So nervousness, worry, fear, uncertainty, right? There's so many different emotions. So when people say, "Oh, I have a lot of anxiety today," I'm like, what does that mean? Like, what, are you nervous? Are you, I don't have anxiety. I'm like, well, like, are you, like, what are you worried about? Like, what are you, like, let's get more specific. And I think a lot of times we need to really start being more accurate about our emotions. Because when we just blanket them with a symptomatic clinical statement, we're kind of dismissing what's actually going on. We can't emotionally articulate what's happening. So although saying you have anxiety is great, but it would be greater to know, like, hey, I'm actually nervous about what the day is going to be going on, and I need reassurance I'm going to feel better. That's a little more specific than I have anxiety. Pinpoint it. Let's try to get to that accuracy, right? The articulation. And we're going to learn that because Reset does that and it teaches that, which is so awesome. So that's what the whole point of this modality is. This modality is meant to be an integrative experience. So you can be a therapist and use this and sharpen your skills as an advanced practitioner. You can also be just Joe Schmo down the street on St. Clair, and you just really want to make sure that what you are feeling, you ain't tripping. So we really want to make sure that this is really something that we can experience and articulate and have the same language together. Because sometimes we are lacking an emotional lexicon, right? So let's dig into this. So in the world, we are going through emotional homeostasis, which means that the world is actively healing from something. We are all actively healing from something. But in that, we have relationships that help free us, condemn us, oppress us, support us, uplift us. And what happens is that we really don't know what might happen. And so our relationships are very important. So we live by motives. Now, motives and reset are a form of instant gratification. It's survival mindset. It is a level of if I do this, then this happens. If I do this, then this happens. So it keeps chasing something. It chases. It does not attract. It chases. And so it's important to understand that when you live in motive, the way that you live your life is never going to be fulfilled. You're always just getting enough. It's like a really good carb, right? It tastes good, but it's not going to stay with you the right way it should, And so we really want to make sure that we are actively watching our motives, because if our motives are not trained, if we are not emotionally articulate, if we are not emotionally aware, if we are not self-aware and emotionally responsible, then we are setting ourselves up to living a cycle that will never feel like it's enough. And as we talked about, overdrive, that's when motives are at an all-time high. Burnout, motives are at an all-time high. Capacity fatigue, motives are at an all-time high. Our emotions are reactive states of expression. So it's important to understand your motives. Then we have purpose. Pretty much people know what purpose is. Like, oh, I'm living my purpose. I'm living my purpose. I'm being what I thought I'd be. And I want to update that. So, like I said before, embracing truth. I might be adjusting some of your truth right now. Let's just make sure we're getting into this appropriately, okay? So take a deep breath. When I talk about your purpose, what I'm asking you is, what do you want to be known for? Remember that question on your side quest? What do you want to be known for? And we realize that a lot of times our purpose is being saturated with motive. So we need to embrace this truth again, because sometimes our lives are being rewarded by things that are not sufficient. A lot of times we are rewarded for chasing things and not attracting them. And so I really want to give you the chance here to learn that. And so how can we tell if we're living a motive and if we're living purpose? And today I have an amazing guest and a friend, and we're going to do an exercise on how to understand a motive. So without further ado,
Dut up, whoa. I just happen to be BKA Watts, and y'all can just call me Watts because that's easier. My dog.
oh, good to see you.
What up, man?
Good. Your shirt is very holistic green. I appreciate that.
Hey, look, I do what I can. You feel me? Nice
That
coat out.
That's really nice.
You know what I'm saying?
Ooh,
Come
okay.
on now.
All right.
Come on now. The back crazy too.
What?
You feel?
Okay. That shirt look expensive though. I might have to.
Actually wasn't bad. I ain't gonna lie to you. Wasn't bad, man. Nice coat. You know what I'm saying?
All right, we're gonna talk.
Yeah.
All right. So, what do you know about motives?
I would just go out on a limb and say the driving force behind a decision.
I like that. That's deep. Okay. I was gonna be a little more simpler about that, but yeah, we'll go that route.
Okay.
That was okay.
That's cool.
Okay. So, all right. Well, then we're gonna do an exercise.
All right.
So, in the reset in this healing work, a lot of us live in motive, where we feel like if we get this, then this happens. If we get this, then this happens. If we get this, then this happens. Right. And so, a lot of times we feel mentally obligated and emotionally unequipped. Mentally
Understood.
obligated, emotionally unequipped.
For
So
sure.
we feel mentally, I gotta go this, I gotta get it, gotta go get it. But then we feel emotionally, it's like, oh my God, who am I through all this?
For sure.
So I want to understand what your motive is. And so I want to do an exercise with you to help see if we can do that.
Okay.
All right. So first things first, I want to ask you, what do you believe your purpose is? He's got this.
I now feel my purpose is to walk in my gifts and subsequently help others do the same.
Wow. You came a long way.
For sure. For sure.
Proud of you.
I am certainly a reformed rap nigga because that was the peak
Mhm.
of the goals for me.
Yeah.
But it's not that now.
Wow. Okay. So we're going to do our first motive exercise.
Okay.
I need you to say the first thing that comes into your mind and fill in the blank. Okay. So I'm going to say a sentence and then you fill in the blank. Don't worry about it being like, oh, let me make sure. Just,
I got you.
okay. You ready?
Yep.
If I blank, then blank.
If I walk in my gifts,
Mhm.
I get the desired result.
Desired result. Okay.
For sure.
So if I walk in my gifts, I get the desired result.
Absolutely.
And then next up is if I get my desired results, then
If I get my desired results, then I prove to others it's possible.
prove to others it is possible. Okay. If I prove to others it's possible, then
It will encourage them to do the same.
it will encourage others to do the same.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And lastly, if I encourage others to do the same, then
Then the cycle continues.
okay. All right, now I'm going to analyze it in my
Mhm.
handy dandy reset book.
For sure.
Okay. Doing really great.
Who knows?
Okay. Yeah, okay. And then, oh, that's really cool. Okay. I got your mental one. Got your mental one, your mental motive.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's get your emotional motive real quick. Let's see here. Interesting. Interesting. So, how long have you been thinking about this?
Since 2017.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So, in your mental space,
Mm-hmm.
your mental impulse, the way you're thinking,
Mhm.
you're mentally saying, if I walk in my gifts, the cycle continues.
Mm-hmm.
So your mind is focused on, is this my gift? Is this my gift? Like if I focus on my gift, my cycle will not stop.
Mm-hmm.
So your driving force is to make sure that this cycle does not stop. And to ensure that, you have to make sure you're using your gifts. You have to walk in your gifts.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. And in your heart space, the emotional space, it's if I encourage others, then I prove it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
So in your heart space is driving to encourage people that everything is possible. Why do you feel like in your life, well, tell me about your life. Do you feel like, did you always live in spaces that encouraged you? to show that's possible? What drives that heart space?
Um, yeah, for sure. So anything I ever showed interest in as a kid,
Mm-hmm.
my mother always encouraged it and supported it.
Mm.
And somewhere along the way, the outside world
Mm-hmm.
kind of steered me away from just going after the things that I was interested in
Mm.
and into like normalcy, just genuinely like the clearest way to put it. So going to work 9 to 5, and all right, here's the money. I got the check. All right, pay the bills and
Mm-hmm.
provide, blah, blah. Normal,
Yeah.
but I'm not normal.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so when I left T-Mobile in
Mm-hmm.
2016 and said, I'm not going to go back to work, it was because I had spent a few years using my voice, my personality,
Mm-hmm.
talent, and was making equivalent money to that normalcy. Well, if I take the time that I have to spend on that normalcy and put it into this, what comes from it? And then more came from it when I did it. And then
Mm.
more came from it and more came from it.
Yeah.
And it clicked for me like I could have been doing this a long time ago and I would be further.
Mm-hmm.
From there, it's been, well, I'll never go back to that again.
Mm-hmm.
I need to do this. And then it's,
So you've had to walk in your gift.
yeah, so here's this one thing that I'm good at. Well, there's another thing that I'm interested in too. I'll try that. And then boom, here's art. And then,
Mm-hmm.
oh, well, here's hosting and doing events. And then I'm throwing events and creating my own events. And then and podcasting, and let's talk, let's use my voice, let's use my
Mm-hmm.
personality. And every time that I've said, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, and it's
Mm-hmm.
a thing that's a part of me,
Mm.
I've gotten, this is why it's important, not the results that I thought I would get, results I never would have thought of,
Right.
because I understood that my vision was short-sighted.
Mm.
It was like, oh, I used to think, oh, you rap, you make the hot song, you blow up. Stupid. You know what I mean? It's
Mm.
like it's like I'd done things
Mm.
that I didn't think were possible when I just took the chance to do what I felt I was supposed to be doing.
Right.
When Vig and I said, let's do the pod, I thought maybe we'll monetize a YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
That was the extent of the vision.
Right.
Not we'll do a bunch of live shows, we'll create a network, I'll create an entire business
Mm-hmm.
of out of podcasting, empower other voices, sign a national deal to a network. I never, those things weren't even in my
Mm-hmm.
purview. So I
Right.
couldn't have even,
I couldn't have
so
seen that unless you were in your purpose.
so I had
Yeah.
to just say, I'm gonna do the thing I'm supposed to do
Yeah.
and see what results come from it.
Yeah. And so you were living your motives for so long because you were steered away from that. But also, I want to acknowledge that your mother gave you the gift of encouragement, or she
Absolutely.
encouraged you.
So I see
Wow.
people, so I see
Wow.
people around me who are not
Thank you.
normal
Mm-hmm.
being normal. And I'm like, come on.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't even know what it could be if you actually really stepped out on it. Cause I
Wow.
didn't.
Wow.
But look at what I have accomplished.
Wow.
Come over here too.
So if I walk in my gifts, the cycle continues. So when you walk in your gift, you also help people walk in their gift.
Absolutely.
And then if you can actually encourage, right? If you can drive the force of encourage, then you prove that it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
So the legacy gift that you're also incurring is also your mother's gift, which means she's passing down the gift of encourage to you, and now you're giving it to her.
Definitely.
So you're also honoring your mother at the same time too.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Did she know that? Did she know that?
I
Have you
don't
told her?
know. I mean, I know that she knows what she did, but
That
I don't know if she knows that that's a part of why I do what I do.
you should tell her that.
I should. I should.
Yeah,
I should. I
yeah,
should. But like I mean, but it was
yeah.
like, it was a trickle down, and I do the same thing, with
Wow.
two bibs, and
Hmm.
my daughter, so she gets the same, whatever it is that she wants to do is, and fortunately she
Hmm.
wants to do a bunch of the same stuff as me. So it's like, oh, you want
Wow.
to do art? Well, here's a bunch of supplies. Like, oh,
Interesting.
you
So
want
you're
to do
also
this?
even
Yeah.
recorrecting. You're also even recorrecting the narrative where you were strayed away from that,
Right.
and you're letting her stay in that purpose of creativity.
All the way.
Wow.
All the way. She wanted
Yo,
to do
it's
music.
also
I
breaking the
said, look, if
chain.
the grade's good,
Wow.
then let's go to the studio. So we're in there. Let's
Hmm.
make noise. Let's go, do whatever. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's that same thing. And yeah, and also like, bro, I think about it like I've met people and got connected with people. Like I've done things that I didn't have to do, but I felt I should. And then
And just
like like things that, like I
mhm.
said, like results have come that I couldn't even have imagined. Like
Seeds blossom when you're in purpose.
absolute, but see, and that's exactly it.
Hmm.
And none of those things really happened, like I said, when I was just doing normal.
Hmm.
And it's like things that you don't even realize, like people you don't
Wow.
realize you've touched. I've been out and about, and strangers will come up to me like, "Oh my God, like I know you," and they're happy to see me, and it's like I don't even know who they are, but it's like
Hmm.
because they were in a sea of people when I was somewhere performing, for
Mm.
example. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can understand that
Yeah.
for sure. Somebody being like, "Bro, I've seen you like working. I'm a fan. You're amazing to me. Whatever." And it's like that's dope. Or I've had people reach out to me
Hmm.
and say, I want you to do this for me, and I have this money for you. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. I appreciate you
Mm.
reaching out
Yeah.
to book me. And then I'll
Yeah.
have a conversation with a true story. Had a conversation with a lady. She reached out to book me for some art. She cut a big check, did the art for her. She tells me, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Somebody gave me your Instagram and referred me to you that was at one of your art shows 4 years ago.
Mm.
So if I did not do what I was doing, not realizing by throwing my show, I had a conversation with a person who I
Right.
never saw or spoke to again.
Wow.
But when the opportunity came up and this person's friend said, I need art, that woman, I was the first person that came to her
Wow.
mind, and she said, here's his information,
Huh.
reach out to him.
Yeah.
Not knowing that 4 years ago, I talked to somebody casually and just had a good conversation
Hmm.
with him, never saw or spoke to him again. And that turned into 4 years later, me getting a check big enough to pay a couple months of bills with it. And it's just
Hmm.
like, come on, bro. What more evidence do you need? what
Yeah.
else do you need?
Yeah. So I appreciate you saying this because this is the value of motive and purpose. Purpose will continue that cycle.
Right.
Motive taught you lessons.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's more important to know what you don't want rather than what you do want.
Right.
But your purpose has given you the strength and the audacity to be yourself.
For sure.
And purpose, that's what it does. It gives you the audacity to be yourself. So
Definitely.
I appreciate you coming through
I
and
appreciate you
talking to me
having me,
about
bro.
this.
For
Yeah.
sure. For
Yeah.
sure.
Thank
This
you.
is dope, man. Oh,
So,
that's cool.
so
I think I did it right, y'all. Right?
I think you did it. Yeah, yeah, you did it right. Yeah, you definitely did it right. And so you don't have to stay if you don't want to. You can stay if you want. Just if you was.
Hey, look. I mean, look.
I was gonna break it down. So you
Hey,
should.
I'm here then. Let's
Okay.
do it.
All right. So what we found out in this is that his purpose in the beginning was, I walk in my gifts and I help others do the same. That was his purpose. We broke it down and learned what the motive is in that, right? Because the saturation is that you really want to make sure that what are they being saturated by, right? So he's saying he wants the desired results. Well, results don't really do anything in purpose. So I had to keep going, right? I kept going. And so what is a result to a purpose? A purpose is a lifestyle. Healing is a lifestyle. And so for Watts, his lifestyle for healing is actually proving to others that it's possible, that encouragement can unlock that. And so for me, my purpose is not encouraging others, right? But that's his purpose, that's his gift. And so what this did was allowed me to see, okay, well, what is his mind controlled by? His mind is controlled by making sure the cycle continues. His emotional side is making sure that his encouragement is proof that it's possible. And so for me, understanding that this person's purpose is actively living. If Watts did not take this route in life, it would have been like, well, if I get the record deal, great. If I find the right producer, then I'll get a hit. If I get a hit, then I might get on the billboards. And then if I do that, I might get on Coachella or something like that, right?
Right.
Right? You know what I'm saying? And so you went from thinking about what you were going to get to now you're talking about community.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about family. You're
Yeah.
talking about your relationships. You're talking about your
Mm-hmm.
your next generation. You're talking about breaking the cycle of feeling obligated to a society that's not emotionally equipped to even support a little girl these days,
Right.
to a black girl, right? And so it's amazing that you had the oversight and you have lived your purpose and you're breaking that chain for her and you're also honoring your mother. You're having your past, your present, and your future all in one moment.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
That's dope. That's
Yeah.
dope. I mean, it gives me another way, another perspective to see it from. Because yeah, I mean, I just feel like, on the day to day, it just feels like I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And there's a lot of
Doing,
people that don't
but I
get to.
enjoy it though. I
Mhm.
enjoy doing it. I was like, because I mean, I feel like the person who gets up and goes to work and they pay the bills and they take care of the family. They're doing what they're supposed to do too.
Right.
But it's like you're doing what you're supposed to do as an adult and as a
Mhm.
just as a human in society. I mean, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Like,
You're a human,
like
you're a
I'm
human being.
yeah, like I'm doing you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
like there's a difference between being a human and being a human being, and I am being who I'm supposed to be,
Mhm.
and I'm moving in that. Like I'm doing the things that I feel like I
Yeah.
was created for,
Mhm.
and yeah, man, that it's cool because it keeps me relevant. I can sit back and not do anything. You know what I mean? Like when that lady reached out to me, I hadn't done a piece of art in I don't know how many months.
Mm.
But it's the fact that, like I said, something I did years ago
That
and a
seed
conversation
blossomed.
from years ago
Mhm.
brought a person to me, and it's not like I forgot how to create it. So it was turn it on, let's do it.
It's amazing.
So it's like, you just don't know those conversations, those communications, that information that you give somebody that you didn't have to, just being yourself
Mhm.
will do things for you even when you're not in the room. And that's what's really dope to see that come around often.
Yes. And when you're in purpose, your presence is your power.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you left your presence.
For sure. For sure. And I like all over the
Yeah.
place. And that's dope.
That's
You know,
great.
when somebody goes, oh yeah, I mentioned you and I was in a place with 100 people and half of the room knew you and everybody said good things about you. It's like, oh, that's dope. Like, because you have,
Because it could go a completely
it
other
could
way.
go a whole nother
They
direction,
could have
bro.
fought him back then, like,
Right.
like you know what?
Like, you know him?
That's like,
When the last time you seen him,
Right.
so we can go pull up to
Right.
that location.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Meet me
not
in the
that.
flats.
Right. You know what I'm saying? We've been looking for him for a while. Nah, it's like, oh no, that's good people. No, yeah, go ahead and work with him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, go ahead and hey
Yeah.
man, he gonna put you together. Or
Yeah.
but people say I hear people say it often, like, no, you working with the right person. Like, cool. Like that feels great. That feels great that I've touched people in that way. And then, like I said, that I feel like
I mean, you touched me in that way, right? And,
for
and I think,
sure.
and I think that's the crazy thing is that you've always said to do this, but I wasn't ready, right?
For sure.
And so you put that seed also with me though, because I knew that I could trust that because I've also seen you develop for such a long time, and so
Right.
to be able to see that and know that I didn't feel any force.
Yeah,
And
no.
there was no pressure. A person that's living in their purpose, there's no forcing. It's
Right.
it's naturally flowing. If you were like, come on, come on, and you come on, like I'd be like, no, I'm good, because you know what you have. You live from a place of abundance because you understand purpose.
Yeah.
People that live in motive live in scarcity, and they're trying to make things instantaneous. They're trying to get the gratification of presence. Usually a lot of people that live in motive are more focused on power than presence.
For sure.
No.
Yeah, no. Definitely try to leave a mark in the room. The thing is, it's like, in the mix with Vix, another pod that I shoot just started recently. She reached out to me a year and a half ago and hit me up and said, yo, I want to do this pod. And then I'm like, okay, cool. We talked. Never heard from her again. She kind of vanished on me. Left it alone. Right now, we're like 6 episodes in. So she came back
Wow.
around and was
Wow.
like, hey, I appreciate you not like trying to force me to, or
Yeah.
not trying to, but it was like, no, I answered every question. I gave you the information. And I told you, when you say you're ready, 2 hands to your back, shove over the edge. Let's go. Like, I'm fast forward. Let's make it happen
The
because
audacity to be
I don't,
yourself.
yeah, like,
It's
no, we
time.
gonna go. Like, when you say
Right.
go, I got you by the hand. Let's go.
Right.
And same with you. It's like, you reached out. Okay, cool. I'll wait. When you ready, you ready. You say go. Like a night like tonight.
Right.
Hey, let's knock down y'all Hollywood magic behind the scenes. It's like, yo, let's do multiple episodes. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's go. You
And
know what I mean?
And the
So
thing is, I don't feel tired. I don't feel exhausted because I'm living my purpose. I don't feel
exactly.
exhausted when I'm doing.
Yeah.
How can you be late up at 3 a.m. I'm like, I live, breathe, and sleep this.
Exactly.
I'm good.
Yeah. And so it's like, didn't force it. Just let it happen. But when it's time, let's go. Same thing with her. Same thing with another girl. She reached out. She didn't end up following through. All right, it's cool. And then the next time we saw each other,
Yeah.
we had a good connect. We had a good conversation, a good connection. The next time we saw each other after that, she tells me, your name came up in a room I was in, a bunch of people. Everybody said, I need to work with you. You're great. You're amazing. Thanks. I manage her now.
So
That's so constant.
see, okay, look, I know we gotta go soon, but I also want to say one more thing about this. When you understand your purpose, you also start getting a set of skills. It's kind of like an RPG game.
For sure.
And you get these skills. And one of your greatest skills is that you are someone that creates flow within people. So I know you're not a rapper anymore, but your flows were just truly out of this world.
Appreciate you.
I don't know if you have those things back up.
No, they still in there. They still in there.
Okay. But
I rap every day. I just don't. I don't write, record, and release.
so
No
I
more.
see you. But the way that you flowed with your words, you also help people flow with their dreams too.
Absolutely.
And so, for me, even though you're a lyricist at heart, that you also been able to translate that into something that people can also get to. So you make it easy for people to flow within their job work, because this is not an easy thing to do. But
Right.
you make it look easy. I call it the Beyonce effect. Everybody hate on Beyonce, but it's like, if you realize how she outworked you millions of, like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's her job is to make it look easy so that you can feel confident about watching it. That's why you feel like you can criticize it so much.
Yeah.
So to see you work, you're so fluid with your work that it's like, really, that's it? And I think I can do it. And then when,
For sure,
and then
for
when I
sure.
try to go do stuff, I'm like,
Right.
okay, the green button, the red button, I'm clapping in the mic, trying to make,
For
and
sure, for sure.
And so I just want to say I appreciate you for making your purpose look so easy. It means you're someone that's not only skilled, but you're truly a master craftsman.
Oh, for sure.
At your art.
I appreciate it, bro. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, of
That's
course.
super cool, man.
So, everybody, I just want to say thank you for taking time to watch this. As always, be kind to yourself and heal always.